This is so weird because it's not the same thing as Facebook where they're just going to stream in. I wonder if I can share this on my Facebook though. But I really just want to do a video, so I guess anybody who comes in can just pick up when they come in. Because I want to get this done. All right, I don't know if I'm gonna wait for any people to arrive. I'm just gonna start doing what I'm doing, and if someone comes in, that's great. Um, okay, I'm gonna be making Jolly Rancher edibles with cannabis. Um, so what I'm gonna be using is tincture that you can get from your dispensary. I made it myself. This is THC Pro and Chem Dog. What I do is I actually cook live plants. Um, I have an illness. I have fibromyalgia, so I cook with live plants, and I cook the plants for about 24 hours in palm leaf glycerin. You can get it on Amazon or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to be using the tincture that I made, which is an indica. Indica for nighttime. Usually, I just got finished doing the day, but I want one for the nighttime. We're going to use 45 Jolly Ranchers. Seems to be the best for the molds that I have, which are emoji. I'll show you those in a second. So it's 45. Very, just unwrap them. When you unwrap them, what's going to happen is they're going to just be like this as long as it's cool. They're going to go like this. This is not going to be the situation afterwards. Okay, afterwards, you're going to wind up with, it's going to be a little bit more sticky. So don't anticipate for them to be like this. I keep the wrappers after I unwrap them. So there's 45 of them. I keep the wrappers. I will show you afterwards. They won't go in the same way like this. They'll go in from the side. And it's kind of like the same thing. I'll show you in the end how that's going to work out. Now, so I use 45 of these. I use watermelon. I get them from Amazon. I love them. They're like watermelon's my favorite, and Jolly Ranchers are by far my favorite. And one of my things was trying to get this recipe so that when I put in my liquid cannabis, it stays more like a candy. I must have gone through so many tries doing this. And it winding up, you can actually cook, if you wanted to cook less of them, you could get like a gummy candy, but I have fake teeth, so I'm not using that. I need to have a solid candy and be able to suck it all the way through. And you know what? I don't really want to eat them like that, because when you start to eat them like that, you can get a little bit carried away, especially with like my Jolly Ranchers. I like to have probably one every hour or so. So I don't want, if it's a chewy candy, I'll just chew it up, but not with these teeth. Anyway, okay, so 30 milligrams, depending on what you want. It's tincture. You can use the alcohol tincture if you wanted to. Just the alcohol will burn off. You could use, I used cooking hash before, and I would just throw it in, and it almost didn't matter how many Jolly Ranchers. It'll kind of glue back up the same way. Okay, so, and I'm also going to add a tab of butter. Just to keep the fats rolling, because cannabis glues itself, just absolutely glues itself to any fatty substance. That's why it's good for them to go into baked goods, brownies, and all that fun stuff. So, okay, I'm gonna use my like nonstick pan, just a little tiny pan. It's not gonna take much. The smaller almost the better, because I mean, really, look, it's just this, and it's gonna be on the bottom, and you want to be able to keep control of this. Now, this has been decarbed. You need to decarb your cannabis most of the time if you're going to do almost any cooking with it, except I cook fresh. So what I do is I'm cooking it fresh for 24 hours, which actually then activates the cannabis. So that, and furthermore, I'm now going to cook it again. Now, if you do a cooking hash, or you're doing a concentrate, it hasn't been activated yet. So you need to make sure to stay in this pot for like 20 minutes, and try to keep it on 300 for that 20 minutes. If you do that, you should be golden. Okay, so we're gonna get started now, and I'm gonna put it on a very low. I have an electric stove, and I'm kind of glad to have an electric stove with this. I hate electric stoves mostly. I so much more prefer fire if I was cooking, but now that I'm cooking cannabis, I'm so glad to have an electric stove. Okay, so I'm gonna throw some butter in. And I'm gonna take my tincture here. I'm taking in 30 milligrams? No. I'm not exactly sure. ML in grams. Okay. So it is at 30. So I'll go ahead and push that in. It's taken me a minute to get this going, to make sure that it's the exact right consistency. Okay. I'm gonna cover that up. Make sure to cover up your marijuana after you're using it, because you don't want to get anything in that. Okay, so we're gonna put away the butter. We're done with the butter. Knife anymore. Okay, so here's what I'm going to show you. Here is what it looks like in the pan, and then I'm going to start to, can you see that? Yes. So let's get this going. And like I said, it's on a medium, not even medium heat, on like a 3. I have it on very, very low. I just want to get the butter into the tincture. I don't suggest I suggest using only plastic utensils with this, because the candy, when it becomes a solid again, it's going to get into the wood. It just, my wooden spoons are just not the greatest. Okay, so now what I'm gonna start to do is add some Jolly Ranchers. So now this is already, now if you were gonna do this with a hash, you would start with the butter and really make sure it's on low, and then start to cook your Jolly Ranchers. Oh, I am shaking you guys like nuts, I'm sorry. All right, let me hold this a little bit better. Let's see, that looks good. So like right now the marijuana smell is starting to come up into the house. Now it's not a heavy duty smell. This is probably lighter than normal, but if you are gonna have guests, your house is gonna smell like marijuana. You may not smell it, but your guests will. When I give my sister cookies in public, she's always says that they smell. All right, this is just gonna take a minute. But you gotta keep it going. You gotta keep it going, keep it going. And it's gonna be funny because it's going to, once it gets totally liquid, it's gonna be really easy to work with, but it's gonna get not easy fast. Just gonna go a little bit slower too. And you can see that the water, the texture is starting to get pink. I have one viewer on here. Hi, how are you? I hope you're enjoying this. Please share it. I would be grateful. Okay. Even though I've had a ton of people ask me for this, and now I can just point them in this direction and they will be able to go and make it. I'm always being asked on my social media to do videos. So now I am doing them. I'm just doing them live. And I can't see any comments if there is any. So, we're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Once these get warmed up and get heated, it's gonna it gets very gooey very fast, and then it gets really, really easy to work with. I was very surprised how easy it was for me to work with this once it got melted, because I have fibromyalgia, so I incorporate cannabis into my life because I have fibromyalgia. I think just by far is the best medicine that I take. I think it would definitely be the last one that I would allow them to take from me if I had the choice. I still am on medicines, and I'm really working hard to get the right dose going with the cannabis, but the more I know, the more that I eat it, the better I feel. So one of those I like to have sucking candy. So I wanted to make sure to have, I actually had a company that I was buying from, and they had something that was called Ranchers, and it's by, I want to say Baked is the company. But really, not for nothing, for the amount that I was spending on them, I could just cook it myself and be done with it. I don't want to be bothered with having to put money in other people's pockets when I am going to be leaving my own money in my pocket. All right. And being disabled, I got to keep as much money as possible. All right, we're starting to really, now we're getting there. We're getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. But I like to show how it's going the entire time so that you understand what it takes to, and what it's going to look like, and not just, oh, all of a sudden it looks like this. No, it's going to take you a minute to stir it and stir it, stir it, stir it, stir it, stir it. I still have these candies left to go. So, but as soon as this gets all liquidy, I will be able to start throwing in more, and they will liquefy much faster. And of course, I would normally use my other hand to hold this still, which I am holding the camera with, just so you can see it right. I should get a stand. All right, we are getting there. See, now look how easy it's getting to be worked with. Like, this is just so much easier now. And see how the tincture is still, like, it's not mixed in all the way. So if you were to do it like this, you would really have to whip it. And like, if you wanted to do a smaller amount, say, I guess I put about half in there, where you wanted to make it a chewy, you would like really make sure that you whip it, 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 and then put it in your mold. But I didn't really need to do that because I am going to be keeping it solid. So throw them all in. Usually I'll like throw maybe in a couple at a time, but they almost all fell in anyway, so I might as well just take it from there. It'll go. Right now I'm having a hard time because I normally just stick in a couple of times. And I just said that. Now I said it twice. And that's what will happen when you smoke cannabis. You'll say things twice sometimes. All right. Oh, hello, hello. My second person watching. I'm so excited. I cannot see comments right now. If you are commenting, I have to push on the thing. I have gloves on. So, I'm not going to be able to see anybody comments, but, please share. Everybody always wants to know how to make cannabis candy. It's so easy, just so easy, just so ridiculously easy. Now, if you wanted to, you could go to your dispensary, buy like, I want to say an ounce of some nice, some nice weed and cannabis, marijuana, pot, however you want to call it. And you're going to bring that home. You would take a full pound of butter, and first you would put the cannabis in a tin a tin pan, and you would put tin foil over the top, and then you would bake it on low for see, this is not the recipe, I'm just giving you extra because this is taking a long time. You would decarb it, so you put it in the pan, you put it in the oven with the tin foil on top, and then you bake it at like 125 to like 150 for 2.5 hours. No, 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 no. You know what? Look it up on the internet. I'm pretty sure it's one. No, no, no. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is not my recipe right now because I don't cook this way. I always cook with my tinctures. I don't ever use anything else. So the fact that I'm trying to come up with this over my head, that is a problem. Okay, so if you look on the internet, it's called canna butter. And it really is just bake it. You have to, I think the baking in the oven could be for 25 minutes, or it can be an hour, 25 minutes, or 2 hours and 25 minutes. I can't quite remember. Like I said, it's not my forte. I am going to make some canna butter and get it right, and then put it on live as well. Let me just put this down so I can get this going. Just, oh, there we go. First live ever, so sorry for my one person who is watching. All right. I just needed to get in here a little bit like this so that it's very sticky. But then you're gonna put the can of, after you decarb it in your oven, you're going to melt the pound of butter in like a saucepan, and then put the cannabis into the butter. Now I think you're gonna cook for an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. I'm not exactly sure. And then you would use the butter right into here, and it would probably, like, even out, you only want to use you would be using like one stick, so like an ounce of butter, and that would be comparable to the tincture. And then it would, in my mind, it would definitely come out the same way. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't come out the same way. All right, so we are there. All right, for my one person who's watching, I don't know who you are, but thank you so much for watching. Okay, so here we are. I see I still have a little bit. There's still a couple in there, but this is primarily what it looks like. So it's not going to be as see-through as it first started because we used butter. So it has just a small tint on there. This is so easy. So easy. All right. Yeah, almost there. I should have thought about this in the first place. It goes right into my crook of my arm here, and I'm able to turn it. Now, see, it's very, I mean, better than you would think it is, but it is when you're holding it. But it is very easy to work with. I was very scared that it was not going to allow me, that it was going to get so stiff on me. Now, you're going to lose, like, a little bit, like, on the sides and whatever, but don't really worry about that. Most of your medicine is going to be in here. It's going to be nicely mixed. Okay, so that's evenly through all of your candy. It's going to be even. It's not going to be like there's a piece here and this piece here and this piece here and this piece there. It's not going to be stronger in one spot than it is going to be in another. So now these are going to turn out to be about 5 milligrams of THC. This might be 10. You know what? I'm going to say it might be 10 because I use the THC Pro and I use the Chem Dog, which are, you know, pretty strong indica breeds, strains. So this one could be stronger. It's not really intended to make, for me, it's just about kind of making it through the day with my pain. So if I can put it on myself a little at a time, that is just so much better for me. And being that this is something that I like to, I try to have to incorporate it into something that I like to do because I'm actually like can't stand medicine. Until I was sick, cannabis just was not a part of my life. I didn't do any drugs. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything. But cannabis has just made a whole world of difference, whether it just be for me being my fibromyalgia or to the fact that I'm going to have an attitude with my family. So, and, you know, we're getting in there that the world is changing. So see how we're getting now? Look at that. Oh, it's so good. So good. I love these. They taste just so amazing. I brought it to my daughter and she was like, no, I don't want to eat it. She really doesn't like, she likes to smoke it, but she doesn't like the taste of it in her food. So she put this one in her mouth and she was like, oh my gosh, I love this. This is so good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a super small spoon. Okay. Now I'm going to just hold you up here. I'm trying to get this as good as possible. Kind of far away, but can I get you here maybe? Sorry. All right, I'm gonna have to put you back here. All right, so now at this point, so easy, mixing up, still in that way. Okay. Now, this is the special part because you want to get it into the molds and put to the side as quickly as possible because you're going to take off the heat. So we are going to go ahead and take off the heat. I'm going to leave it there, okay, for the second. Do this on the stove. It'll just be easier to wash off. So, let me show you. I have emojis. Can you see that? Yes. See, they're emojis. They don't really come out looking like that, though. They kind of do, but not really. So they're adorable, but they're also like all the other ones had like edges on. I have ones that have hearts on them, and then it has the edge, and then it's in my mouth, and I really freaking hate that. So, all right. Okay, so now you're just going to take your spoon and just go ahead and start putting it into the molds. And just about, it feels like one spoonful, almost one spoonful, a little less. See, and you see how bad I shake? Oh my goodness. Okay. Look how bad I shake. Oh. Because I want to not like have candy everywhere. And of course, with my shaking, of course I do. At this point with my fibromyalgia, I'm kind of usually yelling at my husband to help me at this point. Like, oh, I'm in so much pain. But because I'm on here talking, and I know someone is watching, that my adrenaline's running, so I'm not in pain, but I'm still shaking. That also could be my nerves too from doing my first live. For my one person. It takes almost more time to get this in here. Now, I should be able to pick one out once I get them into both molds. I should be able to pick one out and show you what it's going to look like. Should be almost cool by then. I think it might be. Oh. All right, so this mold has 24, and so I'm doing 48 candies. Oh, I'm getting it everywhere. Okay, seriously, last time I did this, I did not get this like this. This is horrible. I'm gonna want to put this in my freezer after this, and it's a mess. I can see it's dripping. See, you know what? You know why? Because the spoon that I used last time was a little spoon that was like perfect. Every scoopful was perfect. This one's a bit larger. And you know what? I'm sure if you know how to cook candy, you're probably looking at me going, oh my God, what the hell is this person doing? She is just making like an absolute mess of it. But I will show you what it looks like right now. I still have the other one to go. So there we go. Okay, see, I did get it everywhere because that's just the way it is. I'm just making a mess. Okay. Let me get this one out of the way. Now, at this point, I really need to get moving because it's starting to get solid on me. You see the strings coming out? That's it getting solid. So I'm just gonna let some heat go on that so it's not so bad. Because this is a horrible mess. But you know what I'm going to do, right? After it's done, I'm going to eat the candy that's on the sides. Because it still will come out perfect. It's just on the side. It's not a big deal. It's still candy. See, I didn't do that last time. I had nice... Oh my God. What a mess. All right. It's... All right, here we go. Let's put the heat back on it because it's just a mess right now. It's like... Oh my gosh. What a mess. All right, come on. What a mess. This is hilarious. See, that stringy stuff should not be happening. See, that won't happen if you use a smaller spoon and it drops right off and it's like perfect. But the spoon that I use is old and gross, and I really don't want to show that to you guys. So I don't want to show you that that's what I'm using, because you should make sure that like everything that you're using is good, because this is your medicine. It is going into your body. It's just an old spoon, and it has like, it's a 65-year-old spoon. So you could just imagine, but it's clean and it's usable, but it doesn't look like it's usable. I'm gonna wind up with less than 48, I think. And I just think that's because I got them on all the sides. But don't worry, whatever you get into the holes will go down into that area, like, and you still will have a good candy. And you can like spread it, although it just seems to be sticking to me. But I'm sure that you could spread it. See, now I'm a little bit more solid. It's super sticky when you let it go this long. Okay, I should be done by now. Super sticky. So see that? So once it goes kind of past, you just sometimes you're better, just get it done. Really, you could put it into, I would assume that I could probably put it into one of those cake things that squirt out, but I haven't bought one. I don't really bake. All right. I know it's my glove, right? But it's so good. All right. Wash my hands and my face that I have candy on now. Okay. So stove off. I made a mess. It is what it is. The first one's pretty much better. They're heavy. All right. So this is what we have. Can you see that? Okay. I don't remember which side we started off with, so I'm just gonna pick I'm gonna pick this side because there's a little one in here. Now, it's too little, and it's not dry. It's not cold enough. I should have put it in the freezer while I was taking care of that other one. All right, see, it's gonna come out looking. If I pop it out now, they're not ready. They're still warm. Okay. And I don't even have an old one. No, I don't have an old one. Okay, so just, you really don't need to put them in the freezer. See, this comes right off. It came right off. All I had to do was just wipe it down and it comes right off. With the pan, just put hot water into the pan. Don't forget to lick the spoon. Okay, like, so that's my lollipop. For like the next hour, I let this dry kind of. All right. Actually, this is what I'll do. This is what I normally do because there's a decent amount left in here that I'm just like, all right. Okay, so this is what's left over in the pan. And I usually leave that behind because I'm gonna eat this for the next like half hour or so. Because I'm a high doser. Today I didn't have any. But normally when I'm going to cook, I always wind up running out. Unless my oldest daughter is here and my youngest daughter will cook for me as well. I just hate asking her because she works so much. But by the time I am cooking something, that means like I have not had, like I didn't have any candies today because I really needed to cook. But I didn't get my approval to do my live until today, so I just waited. I don't know why I don't want to take the tincture just regular, like in my cup or something, but so this is like a big lollipop in the end, so you get to eat that. So, but normally I would like start off with a candy and then I would probably maybe have one every hour, every couple of hours. And if I haven't had something all day, then I'm looking to have something more like 25 milligrams or above. By the end of the day, I usually hope to have in my system around 150 milligrams, which is just perfect for my body. My body feels really, really good at the end of the day. I'm never actually stoned. Your body, it doesn't, edibles don't really work that. Listen, some edibles could really like send you into another space. Furthermore, these edibles could also do that. It really depends on your tolerance. It depends on how long have you been doing it. Someone actually could be they're just even one thing and you could smoke it and smoke it and smoke it, and then edibles will just not work for you. So, but for me, they work really, really good with my fibromyalgia. I really, really, really enjoy the fact that I have something that's more on the holistic side to work with, and that I can make my own medicine. So, this was my video on how to make Jolly Ranchers. Go over real quick again. I used my own tincture, butter, and regular Jolly Ranchers, my favorite, watermelon. And just rewind the video. You can go back and you should have all the information. If you have any questions for me, please comment. I don't really know how to, oh, all right. It has showing live, but I only have one of you, whoever you are. So if you have any questions and this is no longer live, please leave a comment. Please subscribe. I will get back to you. And as for now, have a good day. Cheers. Oh, I don't know how to shut it off. Let's see, let's like that.